the
Alrighty.
last time you were on. We got no problem.
So, welcome to another Tales from the Forlorn Dopes. I am your host, Cybersmily.
I'm your co-host, Wisdom, and we are very happy to be back and happy to have you joining us today. Uh,
Yes.
we've got we've got a special guest. Our friend James Hutt is coming by to chat with us today. So
Welcome, James.
welcome, James.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Uh, good to be on. Uh, it's been a couple of months.
It has.
Yep.
For people who don't directly know who I am, I'm James Hutt. I'm the senior designer at Artel Games. The main thrust of my job is working on Cyberpunk, where I'm the systems guy, and but it's a big team effort, of course. Um, Me and Jay Gray really go back and forth at it, and we're the people in the new edition that are responsible for most of what you read. Other than our lovely outside writers, which are amazing.
Yes. We
Um,
last time we had Tracy Hearn on, who did
ah,
the Danger Gals for the Net
in-
54, and also wrote the Real Estate Rumble.
Real Estate Rumble. Okay, I was like, which adventure was hers?
She did the
Trying to
Seth
It was
remember.
Skarkowski one.
yeah. It was
Oh,
all based around our pal Seth.
yeah, that was a good one. Okay, so I also at Artel Games am the lead guy on something new we're doing called Five by Infinity, which is our little indie label in Talsorian, where we're going to be putting out some new and interesting ideas in books that aren't going to have maybe a whole line behind them, but really need to be heard. And we're planning on partnering with awesome people to make sure
That's
their ideas get heard and to help indie people solve the how do I get into a game store? I don't want to run a Kickstarter. Are there alternate methods to get into game stores?
That
Uh,
sounds very exciting. I'm so glad to see Artel Storian
Well,
branching out and growing and expanding beyond the three major franchises that
yep.
they've got going right now.
Yeah, and
yeah.
seeing
I
James.
say three, but it's really only two. I don't think that I don't. There's nothing going on for Mecton anymore, is there?
I can't talk about Mike's babies.
Oh,
Can't talk
okay.
about.
Well,
Come on, don't you
man.
know they don't talk about future projects
Okay. Well,
until
there you
they're ready
go.
to introduce them, right?
You didn't hear it here first.
So, anyways, James, you brought up
Guys,
five,
that wasn't complicit. Whatever. I don't want to speak for anything.
right? So,
Okay.
so since you brought up Five by Infinity, that's
Mhm.
kind of was one of our questions. Like, what is the current status of it? I know you guys announced it um, over a year ago
Mhm.
about
Yep.
instituting it, and one of the people who's listening right now, Cold Spider 4, says, "How's fossilized violence coming along?"
Oh man. Now if I'm getting that correct, Cold Spider 4 is helped me out. Cold Spider 4, you're one of the GMs back at Gen Con, right? For Fossilized Violence? Guy with the cool tattoo?
Yes.
That's him. Yep.
Heck yeah. By the way, that guy was super freaking good at GMing Fossilized Violence. Thank you so much. Um, and it's coming. It's coming. It's in active, like, ending stages of development. We're looking into layout pretty soon.
Well,
We're trying to score a really good world class layout artist at the moment. So I can't
for
speak
those
more than
not
that.
in the know, what is fossilized violence?
Oh, yeah. Before we get too far away from it, because Five by Eye is a brand new thing. Five by Infinity. Sometimes I call it Five by Eye. Um, it's a totally creator owned. I just want to underscore that 5 million times. We're never gonna touch anybody's IP. The
That's
stuff
beautiful.
we do with other folk, we're just doing it because the way we think business should be handled in that space, and we have the platform to do it, and we want to do it. And we think it's the right way to do business, and it might actually be good for business. You know what I mean? It might be both the right thing to do and good for business. So why the heck not?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
one more time. Where was I?
So the question is,
You're
what
very
is
passionate about that for a moment.
What is fossilized violence?
Oh, hell yeah. So, Fossilized Violence is a game where you get to play as cavemen fighting dinosaurs.
That's
Now,
freaking awesome.
yeah, it is a brand new world full of colorful caveman characters. They're a little smarter than, like, Ugg Me Smash, but they're, like, not too much smarter.
Yeah.
They're just smart enough to be interesting people in the
Neanderthals.
ways they kill dinosaurs and their interactions with each other. But I am getting a little too far away from the actual another selling point, which is you play the game with dinosaur toys, huge dinosaur
Beautiful.
toys that you can buy literally anywhere and you already have in your house, and you move them around without a ruler or a grid. You use your hand. You put your hand down in front of the dinosaur's front foot, and then you walk that dinosaur's back foot to the tip of your middle finger, and that's how we move a distance in Fossilized Violence that we call one hand.
So
Man,
now,
would you call this
I'm
a
kicking my
board game?
16-year-old's asses.
Right.
what?
I'll go first.
Now there's a question of
Yeah. So is this a board game, war game, or ttrpg?
so this is a tabletop role-playing game
Okay.
with a heavy focus on a vignette style gameplay. So I'll give you an example of a vignette narrative, and unfortunately, that's every episode of Dora the Explorer. At the beginning, the map says we're going here, then here, then here. Then at each of those areas, there's a scene. There's an amount of scenes equal to the star rating of the region. And some of those scenes can be combats, but not all of them are going to be combats. Some of them are enforced in-character roleplay, in which you have to speak like a caveman. Solve problems in the area, maybe there's a puzzle. But really, this is a game about fighting dinosaurs. It's a game all around fighting dinosaurs. Moving around the board with your hands or your finger, the two different ranges. I know not everybody has the same size hand, but you're allowed to use the person with the largest hand at the table to move all of your movements if you want.
That's
if
interesting.
if you really need that extra length on your movement, and most of the time you don't, because of the nature of the game. Anyway, it's a blast. It's a blast to play. What is the other really big feature? Oh yes, remember how in Cyberpunk we have 2 critical injury tables?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in Fossilized Violence, we have 27.
Oh. Wow.
Every dinosaur gets a unique critical injury table. They're doing unique criticals to you. And you get 3 based on blunt, slashing, and piercing. Bludgeoning, slashing, piercing. Type of damage you're dealing with your weapons. Which there are, I think, 50 plus weapons in as well that all do... that are all varying and present interesting different gameplay. And there's also a super critical, where you roll 5 over someone, you get a critical, you roll on your critical table. And if you get 10 over, you get a super critical modifier, a roll on that special table, plus the critical you're rolling. So, super critical table is all of the, like, black magic game design that you aren't allowed to put in normal gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like, my health is all the way back now.
Okay.
I go back to full health. They start bleeding for like a quarter of their health at the end of each turn.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. And it's what it leads to be is like a really the dinosaurs hurt as bad as they should. You only ever have 20 health, and you'll never get more. So you can
Okay,
keep
like
track of
that.
health on those spin down dice.
Right.
It's a very we'll be running some demos of it at Gen Con. If you're interested, check it out. I'm sure if you're this deep that you're listening to the Forlorn Dopes, you probably maybe at Gen Con or know someone who's going.
I mean, I'm interested. I used Interlock Unlimited to run a Neanderthal campaign that I really enjoyed running. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of stuff that you can backport into your own game from this game.
That's beautiful.
And a lot of beautiful art too. Dolan Pondsmith is doing over 50 pieces of art for this book.
That's awesome. She quite impressed me with Shadow Scar.
Oh man, she's amazing. She's amazing. It's just the crazy part. She's amazing, and she's getting like 20% better every year, despite being amazing.
There's too much talent in the Pondsmith family. That's just what I'm going to say. Like,
clearly.
Save some for the rest of us, damn it.
Well, I mean, when we were talking with Mike Jackson, who was an illustrator for Art Talsorian as well as FASA and some other games, and he started off. He was like, "Yeah, it was kind of good, but once he got into it and started getting contracts, he said within a year, his skill level just like quadrupled, because of the amount of stuff he was doing." So
for sure, you get your reps in, you do your workouts, and it happens. That's the crazy part.
Money and prestige is one hell of a great motivator.
That's true. There's a big difference from being a professional artist and drawing for fun sometimes.
Yeah.
So is there a publishing date yet, or is it still
no dates? Because hell, if I need to delay the book an additional month to get a superstar on layout, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Just because. Okay, I got a lot of tables in this book, and that's gonna be hell on whoever lays this out. I've kind of designed myself into a corner.
Yeah.
This is now a difficult project.
Yeah, tables are tough, right? Because you want to be able to present the data or present the tables in an easy, quick way to reference them.
Right. Nothing mucks up a book's format faster than trying to fit a table into it.
And I am kind of a table freak, and I have done layouts, like preliminary layouts, to make sure that what I wanted to do was even possible in the first place. That's how close we're going on this one. We had to do the "is this even gonna work" test.
Cool.
Anyway,
moving on. Before we move on from 5 by Infinity, how do people pitch to Al Talsorian their ideas?
Our emails are easily available. Here, I'll read mine right now. I'll find my wallet. Give me a moment.
Damn, I put him on the spot.
I guess so.
What happens when we throw curveballs?
Yeah. Aha! All right, I may have not found my wallet, which I'll have to deal with after this, but I did find my old business cards. Same email. That's james.hutt@rtalsoriangames.com. james.hutt@rtalsoriangames.com.
There you go.
So what we're looking for, a couple of quick things there before everyone sends in quick stuff, is we're not looking for your pitch. We are looking for more of a, hey, I'm done, but I'm thinking of a different way to put this out. So what we're for is not pitch us a game idea and we'll help you finish it. What we're for is
if you've got a finished project
before, I have a finished project and there's been some issue, or I want to try not self-publishing this time. We are, without being too conceited, we're a pretty big stage to go on, and we don't want to publish anyone not ready for that. And we want our publishing credit, when we publish stuff, we want it to be like a really big seal of quality.
Right. So you're looking for stuff.
For example, and just because anyone who meets those criteria probably is like, sure, but prove to me that you can actually do it. We did help Haunted West distribute some of Haunted West, which was extremely difficult to do, considering that book is like 600 pages. Yeah. So if your book is less than that in page count, we can do it for you too.
So you're looking for pretty much a product that is
we're looking for finished.
95% there or more.
Finished, laid out, full of beautiful art, no AI anywhere.
That's good. I like to hear that.
And at that point, my promise is that I will read your entire book before making my decision.
All right. So, moving on. Quite a few questions that we've accumulated for you. So
I'll be so happy too, by the way.
So we'll get into James HUTT Games.
Yes.
So your newsletter, I've seen Mixed Blood Heroes Fantasy ttrpg, Glance, Punjin, Battle for Burrows, Beetle World, and also What Happened at Sugarwood Valley. Do you have any current status?
At Sugarworm Valley, not Sugarwood.
Worm. Yes, worm. Apologies.
Yes.
My tongue gets tied many times.
It's meant to be unsettling and weird. Yes. So things are happening there. Sugarworm, we're still looking for publisher on. Can't speak more about that. As I mentioned in my newsletter, no news is good news. Next time I talk about that, it'll be in a celebratory tone.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I hope so. And as goes Mixed Blood Heroes, I was just trying shit out, man. That was me trying to figure out a couple of things about making a fantasy world. I'm not probably moving forward with that, just because it's like I don't really want to make a fantasy heartbreaker.
Right.
That's a hard genre. I mean, it even has the word heartbreaker in the title for a reason. So I want to focus on unique stuff. That's why Beetle World is my game at James HUTT Games in active current development. And if you want in on those playtests, you want your name in the book, then you got to join my newsletter to get the info on that. That's jameshuttgames.com, JamesHuttgames.com, where we send out a bunch of fun stuff that I've been working on monthly-ish. I won't post a newsletter unless there's something cool to talk about.
So what can you tell us about Beetle World? Because the name evokes mental images of, in the 80s, there was a toy called Sectars. And those were really cool toys. So I'm picturing something like that.
So the very first person to ever tell me in a general sense that writing was a path that you could be on and you could be creative and you can have a job being creative was the writer of Redwall. When I was watching the animated Redwall TV series, and I really
Oh,
like Redwall. But
that's
I
very
also
cool.
really like Beatles. I really like Beatles. I have an extensive collection of Beatles. It's a little weird, I know, but I look at them and I just see heroes in suits of armor, brave and,
I
noble.
mean, beetles are freaking cool. I had a pet
They
beetle, and
are freaking cool.
I didn't
I
know they
forget.
screamed until I had a pet beetle, and that thing was loud.
Yes, they have a battle cry. They for sure have battle cry. So I have this game called Beetle World. That is, the core combat system is fully developed and testable if you want to play it. It uses Uno cards as a damage system. And the Uno draw 2 and draw 4 are sort of represented as criticals that can critical into other criticals. People have fixed health, so there's a hesitancy to take damage, but somebody's gonna have to take damage, right? You can
That's what the reverse
defend
card
for
is
anyone.
for.
There's no reverse card. No,
Oh,
it's sad. We removed some cards from the Uno deck and use it as a damage deck. But we've got colors to play with in that deck and numbers. What it leads to is just taking my favorite idea that I have as a kid, and I'm not letting it die. I'm putting the skills that I've learned in 10 years of being a game designer professionally to make my dream.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
that's awesome.
So anyway, it's going to be really cool. You should all go out and play it. JamesHuttGames.com. It's how to get your copy. Also, each newsletter has a link to a sort of private Discord that's meant to be, obfuscated. You got to go through a newsletter and then get a newsletter and click on a link in a newsletter, get in. So it's a really tight environment of.
It's like a treasure hunt.
It is a treasure hunt, and what you get at the end is an inner circle Discord to talk about really, really obscure games. Anyway.
I did not see that link on emails, but I can check it.
I think I forget to put in a Discord link every once in a while, admittedly.
Got it.
Yeah, then I have to remember. There you go.
But yeah, for Beetle World, and I know it's kind of like the beta edition of this, but even the artwork you have
Alpha.
for your beta alpha, your alpha version of it, the artwork is just fantastic.
We have
badass.
I'm doing something really sneaky where I found this artist that was I found this artist maybe 6-7 years ago, and they did a band poster in a local paper, and I hunted them down. They're living in Boston now. I hunted them down and I just offered them a book deal. Hey, you want to do a whole book? And that's the type of thing that makes a project take multiple years. But I kind of figure I got the time. I'm only working on Beetle World when I have the opportunity to. So I know it's going to take some time. The draft, by the way, is like 90-ish pages right now. I'm hoping to keep it around 200. Yes, the art is great, and it's all going to be done by one hand. It's going to look super consistent and beautiful. So I kind of figured, what with the Mixed Blood Heroes thing, like, this is a vision of fantasy. I want to make my vision of fantasy.
Yeah.
That's what Beetle World is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like, we don't need another generic setting.
Right, and if I go deeper in this, we'll start talking about, like, I don't know, the Uten region and the Sand Winds lineage, and we'll get into, Beetle World, different segments of the Beetle World militia, the blind spots, where they can't properly defend, and there are beetle militias rising up, the free swords, to defend their local communities.
Right.
So where
By
do
the
dung
way,
beetles fall in this hierarchy?
dung beetles are kind of spiritual leaders.
That makes
And
perfect sense.
they have the ability to have little visions into the future, not like That's So Raven visions into the future, but like seeing 5 seconds forward in a battle can matter a lot. And they do this by intaking this substance called the sacred earth. Anyway.
That's really cool.
Yes, that's how I kept the dung beetles' access to dung interesting and not weird. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think for fantasy, it's it's very hard right now because it's it's starting to become like either Lord of the Rings clones, or trying to get into something that's unique and not necessarily Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I mean, you can even see that in like some of the wargaming community and how they're kind of stretching ideas around what is a world that you can have a war game in. Like, the thing that comes to mind is like
the one with the long nose.
yeah,
the long nose
the
one.
Quar, I think they are.
The Quar comes to
Quark,
mind, man.
Yeah, but I was also thinking of like Burrows and Badgers.
Yep.
Because I was at
Haven't played
Adepticon. I haven't played it either, but I was at Adepticon, and the line to get that particular game was just like far outweighed any of the established war games that are out there.
That's
trying to
interesting.
purchase it.
I
Yeah.
guess if you're going to Adepticon, you've already played the other stuff. You
Yeah.
want the new stuff. You want the
You're looking for
underground
fresh.
music, right? You're looking for the underground mixtapes at that point.
Well, I think it's also from a gaming point of view, you're looking to introduce your kids right into the game that you love. However, I'm not going to introduce them to Warhammer 40K. I don't want them to ever know about Nurgle or Slanesh
Right.
at age 5.
I was about to say, Nurgle first?
Money.
Say it again?
Well, I really vibe with that actually. Fossilized violence is a step in that direction, I think. There are it's no secret that the game where you play with dinosaur toys might be played with kids. There are rules in there kind of about that. I have something that I've always loved and wanted to see called a Big Brother Little Brother mode. Because when I played D&D originally, the only person I could play it with was my little brother. I've been best friends with my little brother, since we were very, very young, and we played a lot of games together. And there were, when he was a lot younger, there was only so much, and it's like an assist mode, but also a way to play with lower player counts. Fossilized Violence is really good with a player count of 3, because I'm not seeing a lot of 5-6 person tables for tabletop role-playing games in general. People need a game that's great with 2 and 3.
Yep.
There's even a
sweet spot
version for 1 player in Fossilized Violence, which just ridiculously inflates the power level of the character, and is kind of a Conan the Barbarian level. And in Beetle World, there's also an assist mode, sort of for lower player, which makes the game a lot more directly like one of its main inspirations for the mathematics and the game systems, which is those OG 2 Paper Mario games. Because I think they're great game design, and they would also be great on the tabletop.
Can't sound familiar.
you sort of have a main beetle, and then you have like helper characters. So they get to play multiple characters at the same time. But if you play Beetle World, you'll understand that that's a lot like just taking additional hands when you play. There's a heavy push your luck aspect of combat and comboing and trying to unlock your moves. As you take damage, you get to use more of your move sets. So the sort of pace of combat changes through. It's a way of making melee combat interesting and not the fighter problem, which is I will always do the same thing every turn as a fighter in Dungeons & Dragons.
And so, with your game of punching in Battle of Burrows, were you trying to integrate the system that you created there? And by the way, for people who don't know, Punch in Battle of the Burrows, it's a game system that James wrote, which was basically a boxer kind of adventure.
Punch in Battle for the Burrows is I was not expecting to hear that today. That was I did that. That was a weekend project in which I went, what if I signed up for a Shutterstock subscription or like their free trial and then got rid of it immediately after their free trial, but kept all the images and used them to lay out a cool thing over the weekend, do all the work in one weekend. And it is a game about boxing in New York. It's a New York themed game about boxing that is kind of secretly a Punch-Out tabletop role playing game.
Nice.
Now, is it fun? Yes, it's fun. Is it stupid? Yes, it's stupid.
I got no problem with fun and stupid. That sounds like a good way to drink some beer.
It's stupid and fun. The game is quite clearly a party game for like nerdy people. We force the two people fighting to like have a table between them and hold their dice in their hands as in like a punching stance and wiggle back and forth.
Got it.
And the game uses the X dice system, which I created for Glance, which are basically 6-sided dice. They have an X on one side, and if you see the X, bad thing happens. Or in the case of Glance, if you see the X, you miss, I believe.
Okay.
And if you're doing something that's harder to hit, you roll more dice. That's it. That's the entirety of the game system. I think I've seen it used in one other role in one other indie game, but it's one of those things. It's such a simple idea that it's been done before.
Right.
I just wanted to do it and did it.
Sure.
Typically, in December, I make an effort to relink all of the old things James HUTT Games have done. Maybe I should find a better way to do that in the future. But
well, that's why I'm asking you about it, because
I mean,
that's where I saw it.
Oh, and Glance is designed to fit on a playing card, 2 sides. The whole tabletop role-playing game system.
Oh, damn! That's pretty convenient.
It's not built for hardcore role players, okay? It's built for camp. The use case I describe as it's camp counselor use case. It's built for I have these things. I want to be able to teach people how to play this game extremely quickly, and it needs to be easy enough that I don't have to
honestly
check back in.
I can sell that. I can see that being wildly popular among students who want to play on their lunch breaks, or people on road trips who just want to play in the car, something quick that they don't ever have to really reference anything to. I mean, that's a cool idea. I like it.
Well, I've seen like one. I believe there was a charity Let's Play somewhere for a Glance campaign that was like a Halloween themed adventure. And I other than that, I think there's one more. So if you want to like watch it be played and go, what the heck is this thing? I think you can Google it. But that's about all I've heard back from Glance. I think somebody liked it, made somebody happy, and I did it over a weekend. That was that's like I gotta keep myself fresh type project.
In other words, stretching your muscles and exercising them.
Yeah, it's a training exercise that doubles as a fun free thing. I'm impressed that you didn't mention the oh gosh, what is even the name of that damn thing? I think it was Christmas. The Christmas newsletter had something about scoundrels.
Oh,
what the heck is that name of that game?
You're challenging me for finding all the little hidden stuff. Next time.
You're asking me to remember anything that beyond last week, so.
No, right. I'm looking it up. It did have that one had original art by Nick Freeman, who's the fantastic artist who did all of the art in Sugarworm Village.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
What happened in Sugarworm Village?
Man, got me opening up my emails.
Gem scraping scoundrels. And you know what? The next newsletter I put out, I'm gonna put a link to everything too, just because probably somebody hearing this that's like, gosh, I gotta wait till Christmas. So, gem scraping scoundrels. That's the scrape and sneak game. By James Hutt with illustration by Nick Freeman. 3 to 6 scoundrels. It's just a one page quick board game.
You called me out on that. I will have to do my better research next time.
Oh, that one's fun. You should. I'll put that one out the next time we get a newsletter, which is probably next month.
Yes,
I'm a little behind on my on the Nathalia region, but anything can change in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Are you planning on updating your website, or is it always going to be just a link to subscribe to your newsletter?
The website is going to be a link to subscribe to my newsletter for a very long time.
Until you actually get more publishing, or?
I mean, I would love to update it with a released projects thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of, between you and me, I have a lot of I spend a lot of time writing, and I kind of want to focus on spending my time writing. And what my website currently does is make sure I have a place to give people things that I've written, and it's doing great at that. It doesn't need a store on it because I'm not selling anything, and I plan to work with publishing to actually get my stuff into the market because, man, I don't want to have to learn how to be an indie publisher for myself in addition to at Talsorian.
Well, I heard there's an indie publisher called 5 by Infinity who might help with that.
Like I said, I can't say anything, man.
So moving on. So me and Derek, we got the starter set for Shadow Scar and really read through it and really liked it. And, we saw you as credited as also contributing to it. How was it? How was it like working with Cody and collaborating on that?
Oh, Cody and I are a great team for collaborations. I just want to underscore that Shadow Scar is Cody's baby. It is his dream game, and seeing him bring it to fruition has been incredibly inspiring. And being able to help him get over the last sort of hump of that was awesome. That was what I did. That's all I did. I did not have a big hand in it.
Okay.
I helped him in the last. I helped him get over the last hurdle.
So it was 4-1, and you just helped with the assist and the pass.
Yep. He needed some little bit of engine help, but I would have been happy to do anything else he wanted. But
Yeah, Terabella
I'm
reached
super
out to us
super happy.
About Shadow Scar and sent us copies.
Good.
We did a review. She was talking to me about doing like a live play, and I've been trying to get something arranged to do that. I just my gaming group is scattered to the wind.
That is many such cases.
Yeah, so I need to get with Terabella and Cody about an interview. If I can't get a live play going in any like reasonable amount of time, I'd at least like to get an interview to get as much exposure for Shadow Scar as I can out there, because it's a neat game.
Well, we just
It
need
is. It is.
to reach out to
So
Mr.
for
Barefoot.
people, reach out to Mr. Barefoot for sure. For the people that haven't really dipped their toes into the Shadow Scar territory, Shadow Scar, in my opinion, is the best game about being a ninja. Going to be because other games that let you be a ninja, they let somebody else be a samurai while you be a ninja. And that just does not work. That does not work. Any rogue will attest to this. Stealth gameplay has to be the core premise of a game in order to be possible in its highest form. And ninjas without stealth gameplay aren't ninjas.
They're background characters.
Yeah, they're background characters who sometimes do stuff, and it feels like they do the stuff off camera. You feel like you're playing an NPC, not in Shadow Scar. In Shadow Scar, you feel like together we are a ninja team. We've got an objective. We have a military infrastructure behind us. We know why we're doing the things we're doing. We've got a handler. I love the handler role. It's the role of the game master in Shadow Scar, because it's the perfect amount of interaction for the GM, and it makes all of the like Metal Gear Solid stealth stuff make sense.
I just really dig the premise of the game itself, where it takes place across multiple realities, like really infinite. The book lists what you can do, but like you can expand that to be anything. Like
the core book has a great section about introducing new dimensions into the Shadow Scar, and I think that's just so cool to have that expansion built into the game.
I mean, I've said it before, but I've had a long term, like in the back of my head, I want to run this game. I can just never get anybody interested enough to make up characters and play. But I've been wanting to run a game based on Time Bandits for like the last 2 decades, and I think Shadow Scar would be the way to do that.
I think that's if Time Bandits is the thing that I think it is. Time Bandits and Time Crisis similar? Am I getting this wrong?
Time Bandits was a Terry Gilliam movie that had an all little people cast. Well, not all little people, but the main cast was little people who stole a map from God, and they're going around trying to steal stuff and get rich.
Throughout history.
I have to admit, I'm not aware.
It's a movie that only could have been made in the 80s, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Typically, I like things that have that type of caveat to them.
Yeah, like it's Terry Gilliam, so like everybody from Monty Python shows up in it.
Ah, okay. Now you have my attention.
Sean Connery's in it playing
Achilles?
No, Agamemnon, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Some famous like Greek dude, king. Yeah, it's just like Shelley Duvall, like everybody's in it. It's just this giant ensemble cast of people making little cameos as they travel throughout time stealing stuff.
There was a
So is that
remake that's I don't know if it's in the works, if it's already been published,
Apparently, there's some TV show
with
on like
Lisa
Paramount or
Kudrow.
something. Yeah,
Kudrow.
I haven't seen anything about it, but I know it exists.
exciting? I'll have to check it out.
No, but yeah, the original movie is one of the best fantasy films of the '80s. Up there with like Princess Bride and Neverending Story and all that.
Sounds like a hell of a date movie.
It really would be.
Yeah.
Nice.
So moving on. So I don't know. Are you getting involved with the whole Witcher coming back, or is that something that is just exclusively Cody?
I am currently not working on that line, just because I've got 5 stuff to. I mean, I've got to finish the last little bits on just looking down just seeing fossilized violence to completely final, making sure it's perfect. And I gotta do Cyberpunk, so I don't really even know an answer to that question. Let's just move on.
You got a lot of
Okay.
pot stickers over the fondue pit there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I gotta be focused.
speaking of Cyberpunk, so we know that Interface 4 is coming out.
Oh yeah, it is.
Which you've got
Martial arts. Very exciting.
Martial arts. Is that something that was Jay, or is it a combination of you and Jay that developed it?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, really?
So I am super excited for it to come out. I have been kind of like holding it with bated breath. The martial arts there are super impactful for the table, and they keep the melee sort of the melee system in Cyberpunk Red. They keep melee in line with all of the crazy new ranged weapons that are part of the system now. So
Well,
it is
I know,
powerful, but it is meant to bring melee in line with ranged once more.
Excellent. I know Reddit and Discord just exploded with the news of it. Like people talking about conjecture and what all it's going to entail, what the new moves are going to be. You got people pretty damn excited about it. I'll say that.
I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I mean, we should probably just talk about it. You guys got
Sure.
I'm assuming you guys have the list of the ones that are in there.
Quite a few. Some of them are. Nice
You guys got any? You guys got any ones that you're particularly interested in? I'm happy to answer questions specific.
Sure. Gung Fu. And that has always been a popular style with my players.
Yeah.
Yes. Gun Fu. Let me pull up my draft so I'm not talking out of my butt.
So is the art of using guns as a
yes, it's
extension to your hands.
a lot of so the question as to people are going to ask why these martial arts, right? Why not others?
Well, I mean,
Top
from what
line.
I can tell, it looks like you're trying to bring the established martial arts from 2020 up to red standards.
Yes. In addition, I am also looking to make sure that all of the cool kung fu movies that inspired Cyberpunk 2020, that their influence can come to the forefront. That we don't have anything left in the left in the tank as we want this one to be like, this is the expansion for martial arts. And I wanted to get some stuff from other parts of the world that don't get as much love a lot of the times. Like if you only ever do 8, you're gonna do karate and stuff, but you won't get to Arnis, even though it's deadly as all get out.
Yeah, same with like Pinjak Shilat. I like that you've got Panzerfaust coming back, because everybody loves a Gundam reference, and it's like in 2020 that shit's devastating.
It is pretty devastating still. You want to talk about Panzerfaust? We can talk about Panzerfaust.
Absolutely, that's why I brought it up.
All right. So I'll give you the names of the 2 martial arts special moves in Panzerfaust. Borg Fist and Inner Chrome.
Okay. Can
Inner Chrome is it? I can elaborate a little bit. I'm not going to read you rules text though. Inner Chrome is a defensive style. Move. And when you fulfill its requirement, which is being a full body conversion or having less than 0 humanity, either one works. GMs everywhere clap. You have to be in combat, and some of your cyberware has to have been damaged, disabled, or rendered inoperable, such as with an EMP.
Oh, well, that's a neat twist.
It lets you push past the annoying stuff that microwavers might have caused to you. This is one of those things that if you are trying to unmission kit a certain man, a certain construct, you would need to add to him. A big guy, he squishes a small girl in a Japanese cartoon. We don't need to get into it. With pigtails. Trying not to hurt people again that watched it. I think I'm not succeeding.
I mean,
so
if you need a new pair of shoes,
other one,
Reebokas are...
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Name brand.
The other one is Borg Fist, and Borg Fist only requires body 10 or higher. So, yeah, in order to get body 10 or higher, you're going to have some kind of cyberware.
Yeah.
And it lets you make a big honking attack instead of making 2 attacks.
Sure.
Anyway, the other cool part about these is that they're designed to work together with each other. So mixed martial arts is just, I'm taking the martial arts skill multiple times for multiple different styles. And you'll find that some combinations of 3 to 4 styles are quite powerful.
Yeah. I mean, that was a popular thing to do in 2020 too. Like, you take Muay Thai and Aikido, and you've got the defense and the offense taken care of.
Yep. Let's talk about Aikido, because a lot of people are going to ask about it.
Okay.
That guy really got to alphabetize.
It starts to get difficult with all the martial arts out there. I mean,
to be honest, I can't spell Aikido off the top of my head all the time.
Aikido.
AIKI.
D-O.
Aha. Right? Eido? All right.
Aikido's not
We'll
one of the
move on.
listed ones you've
I-
got. So
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
I am
I want to know how big of a document this is for martial arts.
I am trying to scoot through a 17-page document here.
Wow.
It is probably
Holy
larger
crap.
in layout or smaller in layout if we're good at layout.
That's
on the
larger
day
than
where
my
we
list. Damn.
together. These are some chunky abilities. Plus, fun fact, there are 2 fiction pieces in the martial arts in Cyber Fists of Fury that I am very excited for people to read that have real reveals for the story that I will not get into, as I want that to be a surprise on the day.
Okay.
Cool. Yes, because Mr. Barefoot is monitoring everything you're saying.
Oh yes.
Man.
Despite it being like 8 o'clock, like stop working. Tell you what.
Mr. Barefoot does not
we'll,
stop working. Mr. Barefoot is everywhere.
Let's talk gun fu.
Yes.
Gun fu has 2 sides. The first one is called Wu Technique. It requires a handgun skill level, certain amount or higher, or you have to have combat awareness. So you can get way with less if you're a solo, and you have to be holding specific types of ranged weapons that are fired with the handgun skill. It lets you essentially make... it does 4 different things. I won't get into everything it does, but what you're doing is making your... This is the one for extending your range, because you start making your karate attacks essentially with your gun.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it is on the screen, right? You have to ask yourself, is this ever actually a thing? No. This is not a real thing. Do not do this. Just shoot them.
Well, I have to
right?
debate that. Equilibrium taught me from the documentary. Equilibrium taught me that
the bullet. Is it the curve the bullet one?
No, that was with the Equilibrium was
one.
with Christian Bale and
Christian Bale, yeah.
Okay.
The one with curving the bullet was with Angelina Jolie and
the Christian Bale one. Doesn't he kill a bunch of people in white robes at the end?
Yeah, he's a Grammaton
I remember
cleric.
a really long white robe fight scene.
Yes, and he can use gung fu, in pitch black, and I guess that was one of the criterias of that particular world's requirements to learn it.
Excellent. And it lets you it lets you add on the ammunition effects of ammunition you're firing to your martial arts moves made with it. And I won't go into the other 2 bullet points just so that I'm not spoiling anything. And then the other one is that cool combat reload that lets you keep moving, incentivizes you to use some of the smaller reload, capacity handguns.
It's cool because I
Here's
got
the thing.
into
There's
Hong Kong cinema, anime, and
Yes.
cyberpunk all at the same time. So for me, they're all inexplicably intertwined. And Cyberpunk was the first game that I ever saw actually integrate gun fu into their game.
100%. Gun fu was deliberately designed to be like how it's shown in Hong Kong cinema, and as in that direction, I think it's successful. I'm not gonna lie, there are 6 different ways I could have done gun fu. It might not be the one you want, but it's the one that's right for Cyberpunk's sort of heritage in Hong Kong cinema. One that I'm really interested in that is going to be very funny for people. Fans of specifically the Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Is if you've ever watched there you go. If you've ever watched if you look at the Kung Fu text, I have a little bit of a because this is the place to do isn't this fun things. The text on Kung Fu is I believe it's still to be the original Chinese martial art and the ancestor of many other styles. When it's properly used, it's almost invincible.
When done right, there can be no defense.
Yes, exactly. And you can do tiger style and all that fun stuff. And this is not actual real Kung Fu. This is definitely Kung Fu movie Kung Fu.
Yeah,
which
I
is
want
the
to be
best
very
Kung Fu.
clear.
I mean, we're playing a game. We're not.
Where our 80s lineage heritage for this game comes from. Yeah, it'll just get people ready for that. Uh-oh, it's the police.
It's my brother's pizza. I apologize for that.
Now that is a great name for literally any album. My Brother's Pizza is the hardest heavy metal album of the year.
1, 2, 3, 4. My brother's pizza has just been delivered. So, anyways, yeah. I mean, that's the one thing with I think Cyberpunk is it's cinematic. So whenever you're doing any martial arts, think more cinema than real life. And I know some people throughout Cyberpunk's history has tried to make it more simulator, but
in 2020, one of the beauties of the system was how like cinematically realistic it was. But yeah, like you said, there were people who tried to get like they want to move more towards like a realistic MMA style combat, and I'm like, in a game, that shit is boring as hell.
Yeah.
Like you want to do the flying kicks and the punch block punch punch. You want your fights to look like a Jackie Chan festival.
For sure. That's the goal here. I think people are gonna like it. It playtested well. It was very broken in playtest, and then I unbroke it.
Well, that's good.
Good thing too. There's also, by the way, a martial art that is meant to counter other martial arts. And that is normal. I believe that is I don't actually remember what we did for the final. I'm looking at a draft right now, and I don't want to drop a name that's not final draft name. So I'm going to just say, hey, if you're like, man, my GM is going to use all this against me, I'm not going to have any way to defend myself, get yourself to the dojo. You'll find a way. Or
better yet, don't start a fight.
Don't start a fight. You can usually tell through clear story indicators when you should not punch the Kung Fu master. If you choose to punch the Kung Fu master, you kind of want to have the fun fight. And again, I mean, there's always the random white guy knows Kung Fu, and that's very 80s.
Yeah.
That's extremely 80s too.
I mean, just like if you see the white dude with the big bushy mustache, he's a ninja. You know it every time.
God. All right. What's
Right.
next? Let's
So
move
so
on.
so
Let's move
what's
on.
next?
I'm not gonna drop more.
And I'm gonna maybe get you in trouble, or you're gonna be tight-lipped about
What,
this. But the last
what's next?
the mayor's desk, you mentioned wait a month for AI stat blocks. You want to expand upon
You're
that?
gonna.
Mm.
Yeah. We got new Elf Lines Online coming out. I am not gonna talk too much about that here. But me and Diamond Dust are planning a cool early reveal. I mean, she's moving right now, so we're still trying to make it happen. I'm confident we can get something, but I don't want to steal her thunder that way.
No problem. No problem. I didn't know if there was
It's
something
gonna be good.
other crazy going on.
Maybe we need to get her on here too.
Yes.
Get you both on at the same time.
Hey, I'd be into it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask Diamond Dust
Busy.
to join us. Yeah. So yeah. Speaking of Mayor's Desk, you and Rob have kind of started almost a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
Answering
Yeah.
questions. How did that come about?
Well, I was missing an opportunity to interact with the community. I've been trying to. I went into like deep silo to do a couple of projects, Fossilized Violence being one of them, where I was like, I'm going to focus everything on making this thing the best it can be, which is one of the reasons I'm very excited. And I hope you guys jump in on FV when it comes out. That's Fossilized Violence.
I will.
We call it FV. And toward that end, I was like, I want to come out of like weird hibernation, not talking to anybody. What's a way we can do that? I had an awesome podcast with John, and we kind of had to step away from that, and it was like I need another outlet, so we did it, and the community like has really rallied around it, and it's been awesome to see. Like, I've never like interacted with a live. This is weird because I know you guys are like you do this all the time, but I never like get to interact with a live chat, and to me it feels like I get to give a fun like like an online convention that happens weekly.
Mm-hmm.
We get to talk with the community, and I found it quite motivating actually. I walk out of that every week very energized to make more stuff for y'all, which is good. So hey, it's good for my mental health. It's good for hope it's good for the community, and I'm happy to do it. So
Yeah, Rob says you
I
get
think
to give him
we're gonna
shit
keep
too.
doing it. I do like doing that. Especially when he's like, yeah, I don't use the rules as written for that. I homebrew that part. I'm like, and to your detriment, I'm sure.
Well, you know, Rob is the new
cases.
guy, right? So he still has to take his blows
He'll learn.
until
He'll learn.
the next new guy comes on, and then they can pay it forward.
Hey, we are absolutely. That's how that works. And none of it is malicious. It's a fun back and forth.
Uh-oh. He says he's going to get his Revenge Friday.
Revenge on Friday. Oh, jeez.
It's coming.
I assume that is something that you two know
Yeah.
about.
I get totally deplatformed. JamesHuttGames.com. That's JamesHuttGames.com. It's a newsletter.
Yeah, so I know Jay does a lot of AMAs with the community, whether it's on Discord or sometimes with Reddit. So,
Oh man, I did one for the first time last month.
how'd you get?
Did you enjoy it?
It was a lot. It was the first time I had done an AMA, like officially, and man, that was a lot of. I had people asking me what my favorite pizza was, and I think I gave somebody a recommendation on cheese at one point, and it was an incredibly incomprehensible hour of internet flood deluge
Yeah.
of just the nicest people.
Yeah.
And that was cool, but I also felt bad that I couldn't answer everybody's questions, and like the format was such that I was like scrolling to pick up all the answers all the time.
Yeah, there's got to be a better
And
platform.
I'm really glad that I don't have to like answer to a press corps or something. Because that seems like that would be incredibly stressful. It was also stressful. I'm gonna say it was stressful, but it wasn't stressful
For the
because anyone
press
was
corps,
stressing
you
me
get
out.
to like call people out and like, what do you got?
There
With
were,
with an
you know,
A,
there
it's
were
just like the
two
floodgates
people that
open.
were kind of rude, but that's. I'm gonna focus on the 80 plus people that weren't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
Because they're the people I wanted my focus on.
I mean, the people are that show up for the love of it. Who I mean, the Cyberpunk community, the Artel Storian fan community, they're a generally really positive group of people. Like they're it's a good community. It's
Yeah.
there are some games out there whose communities are just toxic almost from the ground up. Like you'll meet some cool people, but they're the exception rather than the rule. Whereas with the Cyberpunk and Artalsorian communities, cool people are kind of are the rule. Like
It is.
I've been a part of this community since 1996 when I first got online, and the number of people I've had negative reactions with, I can pretty much count on my hands.
For sure. I've always and didn't you run like a huge forum back in the day when forums were a thing?
I had my own forum. I was a part of
Views from the Edge.
Views from the Edge. That's the huge one. I was on the news groups. I was on our Talsorians like message list. I mean, I was a part of every community I could
for a while.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
I mean, I
also
love this game.
The Cybersmily website.
Yes. My leaning is more towards helping the DMs and players with organizing their play and giving them the fun little tools that kind of make it a little quicker for them to generate tables or generate characters. So I'm kind of like the functional guy. Versus,
Cybersmily's got every cool widget you can think of to help you out with your game.
Derek's all about the content.
Yeah, I write lore and source books for Datafortress. That's what I do. Some rules, little bit of everything. Plus, I maintain an archive of all the dead sites that were out there.
Yeah, so I guess because we're a little over halfway through our normal podcasts, are you still good to go for like another 40 odd minutes?
I'm good to go. I might take a bio in a couple 20 or so, but I'm good.
Let us know. So next question around game development. So like, what is your game development process? Because we've mentioned all the games that you have already produced, and things that you are sharing with your community through JamesHuttGames.com. So how do you kind of like organize yourself to create a game?
Okay. So that's a huge question.
Which should take us about 40 minutes, right?
It before. I've been at it. I mean, sure. I don't really have a lecture prepared, but I guess I'll I answer this question a lot of different ways. I'm gonna give you guys a more savvy industry answer, And I typically give, which is you have to play a lot of games to make games, but making games is about making games and not about playing games. Playing games is just the prerequisite to start on that journey. I'm going to give a savvier, more modular answer and talk about different aspects of my design process rather than just starting from the beginning, and we wouldn't get that very far before we're out of time. There's this concept called the fantasy. Fantasy is the feel of the particular thing you're trying to design on the table. It's certain levels of specificity in your design should be tuned to. Some people are like, if I don't. Here's an example. Some people are like, if I don't keep track of my ammunition, I'm no longer immersed. And that's how the consumer, the player, sees the problem, right? But on the design level, immersion is a sliding scale of realism and speed. Not all immersion is worth speed loss to the system.
True.
But some definitely is. Right? Because at the far left, you have, let's all tell a story together. And when I hand you this object, it's your turn to tell the story. That is the, like, Neolithic, let's talk about the bear I saw in the forest the other day. That's a game. It's a social thing you enter in with multiple people. It has a goal. The goal is entertain everybody. You can win. You can be a power player. You can have other people in your tribe say that you're a great storyteller. It can be your role. You don't have to be the guy that can throw the javelin best at the mammoth. You can be the guy that talks about how the other guy threw the javelin at the mammoth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on the other side, we have watchword use for this used to be Arma 2, but I'm thinking that the actual answer is Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades, which is a VR game that is an incredibly in-depth gun simulation in VR. So in-depth that sometimes I watch gameplay from that game to do research on weapons, rather than go on gun YouTube, which we're not going to get into right now. Anyway, so the fantasy that people talk about, because the people that you want to play your game, you got to design for the people that are like playing it. The fantasy is the concept of what they want to experience when they play the thing that you've made, and tuning it toward that continuum of talking about the mammoth around the campfire, to playing Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. Every step along that, all ammunition is going to be the same here. We're not going to do unique ammunition. Okay, here we're going to stop counting ammunition. Okay, now we're going to say that guns kill people immediately. I shot him. That's a use for a gun in a narrative game. I shot him. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. There's different... Do you focus on... At that point, you've taken the gun out of the statistics world, and the gun is now a narrative tool. I shot him in the leg. I shot him in the arm. There's space for that type of crunch within that side, the mammoth side of the seesaw, right?
You're removing the mechanics from the role playing.
Right. And then you're making the role play into mechanics of its own.
Yeah.
At a certain level in that discussion. So there's interesting places on every step of the curve, the seesaw. And there are great games that can be made at each stage. But So that's the fantasy. The fantasy is a tuned game that is perfect for the person you are making the game for. So that is the first modular concept, which is the fantasy. The second modular concept is the person. The person is every game that I make has a person. This is the person that I want this game to be their favorite game. Because if you don't design a game to be someone's favorite game, it will be no one's favorite game.
True that.
They are,
even if that person is yourself, like it's got to be somebody's.
I have a rule where I don't make that person myself. Like that is. So even on Fossilized Violence, that person was not myself. I'm not gonna divulge the identity of that person. But definitely on Beetle
I mean,
World.
that makes sense. You're trying to branch out and cover as many as much as you can, and make your games interesting for everybody. So therefore, you want to like try and speak to one specific person and hope that other people enjoy it too.
Yes, because that's the thing. People aren't so different. The human experience is rather consistent across multiple people. If you can find one person now that person has to be replicatable. Some people are not replicatable. You'll know them when you meet them. I have to find a replicatable individual, and then make their favorite game. And then the fact that there are a lot of people like them in the world, there's your fan base. Because I like making games that people want to play. I'm that type of guy. What is it? So the person, specific about the person, on Fossilized Violence, that person is my little brother. And my little brother loves everything that went into FV, and everything that my little brother loves is in FV.
That's beautiful.
And I hope he likes it, because I haven't told him. And don't worry, he doesn't listen to this. And it really is everything, I'm telling you. But my little brother loves a series of games called Monster Hunter. There's a lot of Monster Hunter in the game too. My brother is replicatable. There are a lot of my little brother around the world. I would be happy if every single one of them played Fossilized Violence and loved it. Anyway, it's again, I'm the kind of guy who makes stuff that people want to play, and that is done intentionally. The goal is happiness on Earth, right? That's the stated goal.
Right.
People need a break.
Be as positive and influence as you can.
Yeah.
People need a break, and hey, if we can make money doing it, great. Because people like a break, and sometimes that means in capitalism they're willing to pay for it.
Do you also see the collaboration is also kind of required to get that done? Because I know...
Absolutely. You can't do shit without collaboration.
Yeah.
You can't, even if you have a team. Okay. I don't think there are very many games ever that have been one person endeavors. Roller Coaster Tycoon is the only one that I think of when I think of that. I'm pretty sure that he had playtesters. Playtesters count.
Yep.
Sure. Anybody giving you feedback is collaboration.
That's collaboration. There are different levels of collaboration, right? In a way, my person concept is collaboration. It's just collaboration where the person there might be fictional. The person there that I'm trying to collaborate might be an idea in my head. And not be a real person. It works better if they're a real person and they're engaged with the process of making the game, even if they're not writing on it. In fact, they probably shouldn't. Collaboration is that's just I couldn't think of making a game without collaboration.
Right.
So many things get better from collaboration. Like, you're not gonna get an outside editor, really? You gotta. I'm not doing my own art. You don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I know. I have. I've just recently learned how to do like composite images, not with AI, all handmade composite images, where I am just cutting out stuff like magazine clippings and compositing a. Hey, this is in general what I'm kind of thinking of. Please make this better. This sucks. And that's writing an art script.
Well, the other thing you could look at, like for your example, is to go with the kind of like the 80s, 90s punk kind of zines that used to come out, in which they did collages of just art and just smashing it all together with just cuts and, well, rough cuts of like things pulled out of like books and papers or magazines.
Yeah, just whatever inspiration the collage artist was finding at the time.
Right.
I miss zines. Those things were awesome.
Zines are so that's one of my favorite thing about living in Seattle is sometimes you find a zine.
Oh, that's
There's
beautiful.
still people doing it. It's super rare. I have a rule that I never don't take the zine.
Right.
Because you don't know what's in there. You know, if there's
and
even
every single zine that ever existed was somebody's absolute labor of love. That is them pouring their soul onto a page just to share it with the void.
And then printing it with their own money, by the way.
Yeah, like nobody ever put out a zine to make money.
No,
nobody ever
not even
a zine to get famous. They just were sharing.
Well, that's kind of like our websites, Derek.
I did a digital.
It's like the websites from the 90s. Yeah, like when the internet was young and new, and everybody had like 4 or 5 GeoCities pages, and everything was an expression of whoever was doing it. I miss those days. I miss personalized websites.
That was how I got started in game design in the tabletop role-playing game spaces. I put out a zine with this cool guy named Eugene Fasano called The Visions of the Vault. It was a D&D zine.
Nice.
And we were just trying different things. We did that for a whole year and like a monthly zine. And nothing ever came of it until we put out like some adventure content. And it turns out that's the only thing that Wizards wanted to put in Dragon Magazine was adventure content, and that makes sense. Nowadays,
even Cyberpunk had its own dedicated zines.
We have a couple in the office.
Yeah, Interface, Punk 21.
The whole Interface Red series is us shouting that out.
Yeah, we've had both Chris Hockabout and Thaddeus Howes on the show. They love that their magazine is.
They love it
still. Yeah, they love the fact that their magazine is still getting shout outs.
Thank God.
Yeah, they were talking about.
I kind of just did it. I couldn't like get in contact with these people.
Oh, we can get you.
I look.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can get you in contact with most of the people you might want to find from the old days.
But yeah, when we talked to him, I think last year we talked to Thaddeus. They were thinking about doing a republish of those old magazines, but I don't know where it left on, or if they're still seeking whether or not Altarsorian need permission or not, because I know it was kind of a bit of a collaboration between them, the Prometheus Publishing, and Altarsorian at that time.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I mean, they know our email. I can't get into anything. I don't do that part of the business.
Yeah.
I'm very happy they let me make cool stuff. I'll put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. So, yeah. So speaking about, well, to get into the whole game development process and thinking about that, right? One thing
Oh
I've
yeah,
noticed is
forgot I
that
was giving a lecture.
so one thing I've noticed, especially with the community, when they start coming out with their homebrew, the creators, I often see, or it seems, that the rules, gears, etc., that they create often lead to very overpowered
hmm
mechanics for gameplay.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the techniques and tests you should do besides play testing that a creator should really think about when he's designing his own rule or gear or any of that to kind of curb themselves in to be like, oh yeah, maybe that is a little too powerful.
Right, right. So, uh, there's vibes there, right? For sure. Because if something's not powerful, why do it, right? Why, like, typically when people want to do homebrew, they want to homebrew stuff that doesn't exist in the game, right? And in that, they want to push the envelope, and a lot of people want to push the envelope for power. But there's different ways you can push the envelope, and there's that are. And the other thing is, if you're homebrewing, you don't have to be concerned with I'm not going to say the word meta, but the like the pool of options, and making sure that the possibility space is high, and you're not creating something called a FOOS, a first order optimal strategy, which would be something like a ray gun
Okay.
that kills people instantly, that costs 200 eddies. No one would ever use another gun.
Yeah.
And they would feel constrained by the existence of it. And it would begin to affect, it would like kind of poison some stuff in a not so good way. Anyway, a great,
I think
but I'll be more specific as to like that's like why people do that, and those things are balanced at their table probably, because they have techs that are improving existing equipment to be, and that's like the line of normal stuff at their table. Um, and okay, but like a way that I used to homebrew stuff for D&D, that created content that D&D wanted in their magazine, by the way, so maybe that helps, is you find existing game design and you remix the game design rather than replace the game design. And you take it from multiple different published works. I'm going to take this sentence from this sentence over here, and this sentence from this. And if this sentence was related to this sentence in a different way, it would create a differing outcome, but it would still be within the bounds of the design, because obviously all three of these sentences got through playtesting, right?
Yep.
So it's just combining them in a new way, and it comes out looking like, playtesting in, playtesting out. You don't need to playtest something you've already playtested in the same way. Of course, more playtesting is always good. That was kind of how I did that when I was doing homebrew, which is how I got my start. Like a collage of concepts. One thing I did, like here's an actual example. Back in 5th edition, Dungeons and Dragons, druids got a couple of different the Circle of the Land druids got a like favored region, like I'm a mountain druid, I'm a forest druid. And what they'd get was you get access to some new spells. But these spells aren't available to druids unless they're that type of druid. So I sort of expanded this concept and went, okay, what if I took other classes and gave them access to spells from other classes that make sense for being in not a favorite environment, but maybe like a conceptually ice, right? Like with this special amulet, you can cast these spells with your cleric stuff. I don't fully remember the item, but it was just, hey, this is a collection of groupings of spells that are not inherently broken to give to another class and would change gameplay a bit. I was rather focused on trying to make necromancers interesting by any means possible, because that was a weak point, I thought, in 5th edition. As long as you don't, if you don't want to be like the cheesy guy trying to be a necromancer in 5th edition.
Yeah.
Anyway, collaging is a great way to like learn from existing systems, and the more you learn from existing systems, the better you get at knowing what is going to be balanced at table, what is not going to be balanced at table.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like, and that's the like you mentioned earlier, is what's your table like, right? So, for example, like with me, when I run any table, whether it's D&D, Cyberpunk, or well, it also depends on the game, right? The campaign I'm running. But oftentimes, at least during my beginning phases, I would basically allow all rules, right, to be introduced. And, granted, as I get older, I'm like, yeah, I don't like that one. That particular rule or that particular class / role.
We all get crotchety with age.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And also the concept of doing your campaign and how you want to do it. So oftentimes, especially with Cyberpunk, I always let the power level just exceed it because I like that cinematic part.
Yeah.
But again, depending upon the campaign, I might want to tone it down to more either gutter punk type of levels. So that means I'm not going to allow the craziness. I'm not going to allow, oh yeah, you're going to get, thousands and thousands of or hundreds of thousands of dollars for this op because you're doing high profile stuff.
Yeah,
No,
I'm of the opinion that if you ever give a Cyberpunk more than $10,000 for their first, second, or third job, your table is going to go into high power immediately.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like I at least as a player from Cyberpunk, I mean, whenever my characters get cash, it's I need a backup hide hole that I need to buy. So when shit goes bad, I can go off and run into that place. I need alternate IDs. I need, a backup cache of things. And
that's good play.
Yeah, and that's how I play as a character.
Regardless of how much they get paid for any job, should never have like any excess amount of cash in their pockets because they're going to spend that shit on the stuff they need.
Well,
yeah. The problem comes when you're a brand new GM and you've given $5,000 for a job, and two of the players give their money to the third player, and they buy a shiny gun. Right?
Yep.
And steal the shiny object from the players is not good GMing at any table.
It won't make it popular.
Turn day. It would be that what they're like setting you up, right, to do the bad thing. They don't know, and that's I don't know. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, I am a. No, I'm on your side. I am very outspoken against adversarial GMs. I think I think Listen Up, You Primitive Screwheads should be must reading for any prospective GM, regardless of system. I think the book is brilliant. But man, and I think Mike's brilliant. But the dirty tricks section of Listen Up, You Primitive Screwheads is quite possibly the most misunderstood and abused thing I've ever seen. Because it appeals to those adversarial GMs who just want to fuck over their players. And I'm all like, you can't run a game like that. You're not going to have people coming back to your table.
Well, again, you're talking about Mr. Pondsmith, who is, I am the person who killed your Cyberpunk character.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. I mean, he's the guy, like, Mike, at this point, at the stage he was writing that, he was, I don't know what his personal, like, home campaigns were like, but he was doing a lot of convention gaming, and con games are an entirely different animal.
Very true.
Right.
You can get away with being adversarial in a con game because you're never going to see, like, there's no continuation of that story. Like, those people are not coming back next week for the next game. That's just not how it works. Yeah.
All right. So, but here's the thing: parts of adversarial as a playstyle are good. It's just they require an incredible amount of skill to pull off as a game master. Bad adversarial GMing is bad. Good adversarial GMing, in that, like, I'm going to create an enemy that you guys hate, and then I'm going to let you kill him, and you're going to feel really cool. That's good.
Yeah, but that's not really adversarial. That's
the low skill power trip stuff that's bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean by adversarial, where the GM is actively trying to win against the players. But and that just...
If the GM is being good enough, the players won't see the GM as the adversary. They'll see that a-hole in the bar in Little Europe as the adversary. And you can go really far as long as you define, hey guys, we're playing a game. In this game, there are hateable villains, and they're going to do horrible stuff. And you're going to get to beat them if you're cool enough. Are you a cool enough dude to save the president? Are you bad enough dude to save the president? Right? Like, you gotta let the GM put Cobra Kai in their game, right? Like,
well, sure. I mean, you want villains, you want all that. That's.
But I'm talking even like the villain from Dodgeball level of, like, ridiculous pink mohawk villain, right?
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Not in Gold's Gym. Anyway, I'm also an advocate for letting players win against corporate adversaries on a small scale by making that corporate adversary into one guy at that thing that they can get. They just won't be able to.
I mean,
that won't have a blaxploitation film ending.
There's got to be some level of, like, I understand Cyberpunk is a dystopia. I get it. I've been running Cyberpunk a long fucking time. But I'll also tell you, if you want players to come back to your table, their victories have to be, there has to be some measure of victory, even on the small scale. Like, they've got to have some measure of, we may not have saved the day, but at least, we saved the puppy.
One of my favorite endings is, and after we did that, X Corporation never tried that again in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
They did it to other people, but we made our stand here. And theoretically, if everyone made that stand, well, now you're playing a very political game.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's the way to do it.
Street win can happen even against a corporation, even against the big ones. I like this. You get the street win, and then they try additional retaliation later, and they get desperate, because that's the thing. After you win, then you get to do the, like, corporate desperation play one. man, that is a plot line.
Absolutely.
They're kind of doing stuff that they don't typically do, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Things are getting
There's a
personal.
lot of
and just to go off tangent, especially with like a corporation, is how you play the corporation. So there's two ways in which you can play a corporate, right? One is I'm personally offended, so therefore I'm going to take any resource I can or available to me to basically squash that bug. The other corporate attitude is I'm a business, this is costing me too much money, I'm going to let it go, right? and move on to other things that are going to be more profitable for me. Which is a little divergent of the whole power scale, but I think that's another thing.
I like that. We decided against it.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean that's how corporations work. If you make something too expensive for them to keep retaliating against you, they're gonna just either completely change tactics or they're just gonna move on to the next neighborhood.
Yeah. How much of a financial loss is this that it's like this is not worth it? We're constantly pushing, and of course they're the player characters, so oftentimes they are in a campaign they are going to win, right? So eventually, especially with a corporation, it's business, right? How much financial loss are we willing to take, or risk we're willing to take?
I just wanted to bulldoze the rec center in order to put up a new apartment building, but they've cost me 2 AVs and like 16 people so far. We're just moving on. Fuck this.
Exactly.
We'll move to Site B.
Right. Screw them. We're just gonna,
They can have their rec center with their breakdancing contests.
Sure. This is what's happening in Night City. We're gonna go to LA and do exactly what we were doing, and hopefully we're not gonna suffer.
Forget the name of the movie. There was an amazing cyberpunk movie set in India. Came out like last year. It was so good.
I have not heard
and they
about
do the
this.
like. Oh gosh. It was cyberpunk-esque.
In India?
You have us interested.
Yeah.
Monkey Man.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Monkey
Yeah. I hadn't really
is
considered that to be a cyberpunk movie, but it's badass.
Oh, I consider it to be deeply cyberpunk.
It's an amazing movie. I'll give it that.
Grounded, very not Hollywood in the best way. Not overblown. I don't like Bollywood, but like something that could be a new.
There's no singing and dancing in this movie whatsoever.
Right. And it's not to say that that's bad. Don't come after me.
It's bad. I'll say it. It's not
for me.
Shit. In comedies, it's great, but if you're trying to tell a serious like drama, and all of a sudden like people are wearing Spider-Man outfits and dancing, you've completely lost any credibility. Like I'm taking out of the movie
from that one. I can't join you there.
Gangster.
So we're about 10 minutes before our end time. So I think our last question was like, what are you currently playing?
Currently I am playing a lot of the new Oblivion remaster.
Okay.
That is what I've been playing. I was a big fan of Oblivion as a kid, and I was a big fan of the Skyrim mod that had Bruma. It was a fan creation, and that was the most fun I ever had in Skyrim. Is that mod? Good on.
I love the way Bethesda supports their modding community.
Yeah, real great. They really support that community. Good job.
Sounds very sarcastic.
I don't know.
A little
I
bit.
love how they profit from their mod. I love how they profit from it. It's great. I don't know. I'm gonna put the. I just like to put the what is it? The garland on the head of the modders themselves. In that case.
Sure, sure, but
Uh,
and I wasn't really saying much beyond that. Like Bethesda is the only company that will allow mods for their games to be added to consoles.
yeah. They're not really doing that with the new Oblivion remaster, unfortunately. But
Oh, that is too bad.
they're taking unfortunate steps. So I can't. I can't.
Oh, I
I don't
haven't
feel like
I haven't
patting
approved of
anyone on
any
the
of their
back.
recent
Okay?
decisions. Like they're yeah they're
Well,
selling out to
now I'm just being
Microsoft
a nerd.
is not cool at all.
Now I'm just being a nerd. Sorry.
That's all right. We all rest under that umbrella.
Yeah, I think
Um.
Derek is just jealous because of the mod community for Cyberpunk 2077.
Just had to single me out like that.
There's a
Huh?
lot of great stuff there,
It's,
but
it's
he's a console guy, so doesn't get to enjoy it as much as I do. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
before we let you go, and I know what your answer is going to be. Your answer is going to be you can't say anything. But here's the deal: every time we have somebody from RTAL on, we ask them, "So what's the next DLC going to be?" And they'll say we can't say anything, and then the next day they'll drop it. So, are you dropping something tomorrow?
We're not dropping something tomorrow.
Okay.
Elflines is coming out next month.
What's
Can't
this
talk
month's
about it
DLC
here.
going to be?
I am not talking about that right now. I don't think. I don't. Probably because I don't know. Probably because time is really just a construct for me. I wake up and until I go to sleep, I make art, and when that art comes out, it comes out. I feel very privileged to be able to say that since I've worked really hard to be able to.
Yeah, we love you guys.
So timelines are really just a suggestion, and the only thing that matters is quality.
Yes,
I like to hear that.
a quote I like, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, is from Dr. Dre. He's like, deadlines are the death of creativity.
Right. If you can't jump back and reimagine something, you've lost your ability to improve past a certain amount of time, and you can't. When you have talent like that, and I don't.
Apparently, Dre's got a lot of deadlines.
You can't fit all that talent into anyone's timeline but yourself. I'll put it that way.
True.
I prefer a delayed game. Is eventually a good game. You know that one.
Yeah. Put it out when it's actually finished. Don't just tell me you're going to do that.
A rushed game is always going to be bad.
Yeah, it's not going to make anybody happy.
Until the day one patch, of course.
Yeah.
Or the day 2.5 years later patch. Yeah.
Oh shoot. I guess if you wanted to play a video game that I worked on, Tiny Bubbles on iOS and Android, check that one out.
I mean, does
the
it have a
other
Don
thing
Ho
I worked on
soundtrack?
we didn't share out. What?
Does it have a Don Ho soundtrack?
I don't know off the top of my head. It has an amazing soundtrack though, that changes as you speed up your game actions and slow down your game actions progressively. So
the question I think the question that Derek asked is needs some explanation.
Oh,
so
wait,
do you know
I
who Don Ho is?
Little Bubbles. Wait,
Yes,
is it
Bubbles
in the
wine? Yes, yes.
Okay.
The death of our search engine optimization.
We're old.
I know.
No, this one's a match 4 game that isn't made by someone trying to steal all of your money. It's
That's good.
I once play on iOS, and I believe it's free with like paid hints on Android, and it's also on
Nice.
Steam. And some people prefer mouse to touch control. It also has a completely unique physics engine about the physics of soap foam in a film that is based off of the lead developer's grandfather's physics research as an homage to him.
Nice.
So I do recommend it. It also received like a shitload of industry awards, and was the thing that I was doing when I was like trying to break into tabletop role-playing games, but couldn't stop making games because that's me. So check it out. Small team. Support them.
Absolutely.
So we're at time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, James. It was
I had a lot of fun.
definite
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me.
Yeah.
We
Glad-
always enjoy having you on the show. You're always welcome to come back.
Glad to hear
I'll be
updates
back.
of what's going on with you and all the various games you've been producing. Beetle World, even the visuals. I mean, to me,
They're amazing. They're really freaking cool, people. Check it out.
You mean Beetle World, the game
Beetle
that you
World,
can play
sorry.
test
Yeah.
by inputting your email at the website jameshuttgames.com.
Yes.
Yes, that's the
JamesHuttgames.com.
That's the one.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're talking about the same
James
thing.
at James or jamesatgames.com.
.com. Yep.
And I will put a link to literally everything else that I've released in the past in this next newsletter because I said I would today.
Excellent.
Yes. Awesome.
That will make navigation so much easier.
And we're also looking forward to all of the stuff that you're doing with Artalsaurian, especially fossilized violence. It sounds like it's going to be a fun game. I like the mechanics of you have a set health, and it seems like you're using that in multiple areas. And as old school Cyberpunk 2020 players, that has always been one of the things that we loved about the system.
I love exploring it. I love exploring that area.
We're also very excited about Interface Red and its upcoming release. Volume 4.
Yes.
Martial arts.
Be
good
good.
stuff.
You 2020 fans out there will enjoy the story in it.
Oh.
Give you some important things.
Look at
some
that.
things you've never gotten answers to. You'll get the answers in Interface Red Volume 4. Cyberfist of Fury.
Buying it immediately.
How can you throw something like that out at the end of the damn show? Man!
Because I wanted to.
Man! Real follow up.
All right, so let's wrap this, put a bow on this thing. So I'm Cybersmily. You can check me out at cybersmily.net, where I have various utilities for Cyberpunk 2020 as well as Cyberpunk Red. I also just released a Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone army builder on the site. So if you like the skirmish game from Monster Fight, Monster Fight Club, skirmish game, there is a utility in which you can build actually your little squads and armies for that utility. I'm also on various Discords, whether it's Community Play, Artalsaurian's Discord, Cyber Nation Uncensored, my own Discord. I'm on a lot of them. Also, I have a presence on Blue Sky, so you can check me out there as well. Rob Barefoot is telling James that he is going to get you back on Friday and to trust him. So just be aware, James, that Friday is a date.
He's gonna ask me only questions about nets. I hate nets most in all of game design. I think they're horrible. They're just a tax on all game designers looking to make a game that never get played by players.
On that note, I am Wisdom 000, aka Derek Bernier. I run Datafortress2020.com, the largest, most comprehensive Cyberpunk 2020 site on the net. You can find gear, rules, entire original source books, plus an archive of all the sites that are no longer with us, or at least all the sites that I could get permission for. You can find me on Facebook, where I am an admin or a moderator on the Datafortress 2020 group, the Cyberpunk 2020 group, Cybernation Uncensored, and a few others. You can find me lurking on Reddit and Discord. And as always, feel free to reach out to us through any of these avenues. We love to hear your comments, criticisms, suggestions. And if you can hook us, if you have an idea for anybody we need to interview and you can put us in touch with them, we'd love to have that as well. Yeah, we love talking Cyberpunk 2020. We'll do it in private. We'll do it in public. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Rob Mulligan and Cybernation Uncensored for hosting us. Thank you, Rob Barefoot, for putting us in touch with James. We love having him on the show yet again. We hope to have him in the future, and we hope to see you again on the 21st.
And we're going to have another guest. We're still working out who that's going to be. There are currently 3 options, but when we get closer to that date, hopefully we'll solidify that. So, again, thank you, James. You have anything you want to mention before signing off?
I think I've said quite enough. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Great.
Have fun, everybody.
Absolutely, pal.
Thanks, everyone.
Cybernation Uncensored.